What's up, guys? We are finally in a new area of me actually. Is that the right word? Area? Aura. The area. So, yeah. Now I'm gonna be using this model from now on, and I thought, you know what? Even though this is technically not really a debut, because like there's not really anything that's gonna be changed, if I'm gonna be honest. It's mostly going to be the same, in the sense that I still only stream once a week. But I will sometimes try, or not sometimes. My idea is that I'll be streaming once a week still, but I will focus more on YouTube videos and stuff like that. So you guys not really gonna see any much difference other than like, well, I look different. That's the one thing. If you didn't see my last stream, I showcased the new me in ViaChat, because I'll also be using my noob self in ViaChat from now on. But yeah, welcome guys. We are going to go through. Bear with me, okay? It's gonna take a lot of time to explain this, but I'm gonna try and make this as thorough as I can. And I know I tend to be talking a lot about one thing. That's what I've been told, at least. I'm very good at talking about one thing for a long time, rather than talking about way too many things, so that you don't know where to hit in the conversation. Like, you don't know where to go in which direction. So that's the one thing I consider that's probably good about me. But basically, here we are. My name is Anrex Zekai. I have nicknames. Well, you can't nicknames. There are some people, some VTubers that I've watched that when I came into their streams and I for the first time followed them, they didn't know how to pronounce the word or name Anrex. So they just ended up calling me Zekai or Rex. Or there was one very rare situation where I actually, this again, I do have a Kick account actually. Yes, that's a thing. Yes, I actually do have an account on Kick, but I don't really stream on Kick. But I might, just for the fun of it, in the long future. That's not really my focus. But basically, I was watching a VTuber on Kick, and she didn't know what to like. She didn't even know how to pronounce the Zekai also, which is again understandable because it's another letter than S. It's the Z instead that I use because it sounds cooler. It looks cooler. But she ended up just calling me Zeki. So I thought, you know what? Sure, I can use that as a nickname. I can put on the nicknames. I'm not gonna lie, I used the whole this day to prepare all this, and there's a lot of panels, okay? So let's try and get through this. My job title, well, though I haven't really been explaining much about what my job or duty, as I've been mentioned a few times, in full depth what it is, I will be doing that later on. But basically, I'm a multiverse hunter / traveler, meaning that I travel through multiple universes, worlds, realms, and dimensions to hunt down a specific creature. We will get to that later on the stream. But that is my basic duty, because the creature is literally like a danger to everything in existence. Not only things that are living, but just in general, everything. The universes themselves are not like, what's the word? They are also like threatened by this creature. That's what I'm trying to say. Height. Yes, I know, I'm a very tall guy. Thank you very much. Not 6 feet, but very close, as you can see. I am, if you live in the Europe, I am 180 centimeters tall. If you want the US measurement, that's basically 5'11". And I want to say this as a little side note, but I don't know if many people know this, but a fun thing actually is I genuinely believe that, you know how like all of the girls on the internet always have like, oh, they have the highest standards of like, he needs to be like 6 foot or something minimum, right? I genuinely think the girls in the US don't know what 6 foot actually is, because 6 foot is literally 183 centimeters, meaning 3 centimeters taller than me. And I genuinely think that they believe that 180 centimeters is 6 feet, which it isn't. That's 5'11". So I'm just saying, like, girls, you know, this is the height that you believe they are. It isn't. I am that height. I'm just telling you. But yeah, no. My birthday is January 3rd. Which is both a nice and an annoying birthday to have, because one, it is extremely close to both Christmas, the New Year's, Christmas and the New Year's. So because of that, you might be like, well, isn't that annoying? Like, that's so many things at the same time. But here's where it actually makes sense, or where it's nice for me at least, because I'm a guy who really loves just to go on a clean slate in literally everything. I mess up, okay, I'm gonna start all over. Either that, or I have gotten better at not starting all over and actually try and fix the problem, whatever it is I'm dealing with. But I used to be very clean slate in everything, being it socializing, making stuff, planning out things, whatever it was. And because of that, think of it like this. Isn't it very nice that you could just go and have a Christmas, then you can have the New Year's, and then you can have your birthday, and then you don't have to think about anything that literally like are the minimum things that you do every year for the rest of the year. Meaning that as soon as I've had my birthday, I don't have to think about anything that I need to do throughout the rest of the year. Well, yeah, sure, I have a family, I have a sister, I have a mom, and I have a stepdad and a dad. But yeah, like, it's not really that annoying when you think about it like that, because you can just, like, I can't talk like that, because it's just all over at once. That's very nice. That's actually why I kind of love that my birthday is so close to New Year's, because then I don't have to think about it. But languages, some of you guys might have noticed this, and I've actually ignored every single comment that you guys have made on this, specifically on my YouTube shorts. Mostly on YouTube shorts. There have been a few times on TikTok, but mostly on my YouTube shorts. You keep asking me this freaking question every single time. Yes, I am Danish. Shut up, okay? I am Danish, okay? I get it. You can hear my accent. Like, I shit you not. Every single comment is just like, you're so Danish. Oh my god, he sounds so Danish. Dude, you don't know how Danish you sound right now. Oh my god, bro, does he know he sounds Danish? He sounds so Scandinavian. He's Danish. Are you Danish? Dude, are you perhaps Danish? You sound very Danish. Like, bro. I know. Also, I have two things I want to say specifically to this, okay? Yes, I'm Danish. Am I ever gonna make Danish content? No. Might I sometimes say some Danish words just for the fun of it if I want to teach people who are not Danish about some funny Danish culture things? Yes. Probably, yes. Two, this is a little bit like, I'm just gonna say this. I feel a little bit offended that people are like, oh, you sound so Danish. Dude. Don't lump me in with all the other Danish people, okay? I can at least try and pronunciate the English words correctly. You know, the fact that I just missed that. Okay, it doesn't matter. What I'm trying to say is, my English accent is way better than the average Danish person, okay? Don't lump me in with those guys. I can actually speak English and people can understand what I'm saying, okay? I get it. I'm Scandinavian. It's very easy to hear when someone is Scandinavian. Even if they ain't Danish, you can hear that someone is Scandinavian most of the time, because of the accent is very clearly, well, merged with it when they speak English. So you can easily hear it in their voice. And I think this is actually kind of why sometimes I want to clarify this. I'm not a racist, okay? But I like watching the guy called Stephen He, the emotional damage guy, and when I like something very much, I tend to unconsciously pick up on something and maybe even end up saying a lot of the things that the person I like watching says. Meaning that even though it never was my intent, I have developed an Asian accent. Am I Asian? No. But I also want to clarify that I'm not doing it because I'm racist. I'm doing it in the sense that, well, I'm not doing it all the time. I'm doing it sometimes. It's just, I genuinely want another accent because I'm tired of people like this that's like, oh, you sound so Danish. I get it, okay? I get it. I sound Danish, okay? Do you have any other questions maybe besides asking me that if I'm Danish or not? Like, dude, are you seriously not more creative than this? Is that all you can ask? Like, this is one of the few reasons why I want another accent. Don't get me wrong, it's not that I hate my accent, but it would make it so much more nice if I had a British accent, Australian accent, or American accent, or worst case scenario, Asian accent. The reason why I say worst case is because people are gonna call me a racist. Because this is also something I never understood. Why is it racist to use an Asian accent if you're not Asian, but you don't see anyone complaining about people who are not Australian, not British, and not American, and people who use those accents are never been called racist? I'm sorry, but what's up about that, huh? What's that about, huh? I don't get it. Now I get it in some point when it comes to like African, because they have been like apparently even more. But I still think it's dumb that people think like this. It's just an accent. And as long as you're not literally saying anything wrong and like actually being rude to them, both in their face and on the internet when you're not actually together with them, I don't think there's a problem. And besides, okay, come on. Accents are one of the most, if you ask me at least, sexiest things on the planet. Okay, I don't care what kind of accent you have, as long as it's not a Danish accent, but I'm already instantly interested and would be like, would it be cool but also kind of funny if I could actually learn how to do that accent? That's what I think, at least. It would be very cool. So we have the next thing we're gonna go into. So the next thing, what is that? The next thing is likes. So I like anime girls. I think that's been very, very obvious in the latest streams that I've done, because I keep talking about every time I'm about to die towards some kind of demon, whether it actually being a demon girl or a man, I'm just like, can we get some thick anime demon girl, please? Or alien even, I don't know, just give me thick anime girl, okay? I don't know what it is. I love anime girls, okay? Well, I do know what it is, okay? It's not that, dude, it's not rocket science. Like, who doesn't love anime girls? Like, if you like VTubers, you also like anime girls. Come on. It's the whole thing. In fact, most people would argue that if you don't have a anime girl VTuber, a girl VTuber, that you're not that interesting or they don't want to watch you. But I digest, because there are VTubers like Lord Aethelstan or Shoto, all of these people who are clearly successful in what they're doing, yet they use a male model. So it's clearly just a matter of how you go about it and not just the appearance. Because if it was the appearance, what about all the people who are not VTubers, who are just straight up normal streamers, which I would say most streamers today that are not VTubers that are big are guys. So that just proves you that as long as you're entertaining and you're good at making the content that you're doing, it doesn't matter what you look like. It literally doesn't. And it also doesn't, even if it wasn't the case, in my opinion at least, because why would I care what you look at? Why would I care what you look like when I'm clicking on a video that you made and I just want to watch the video and find out what it's about? I'm not like all of these weird woke people who, if you know what woke people are, it's basically people who force ideas into video games and movies because they are so bored that they absolutely need something to be angry about and complain about on the internet to make other people feel like they're idiots or mean, when they, in reality, no one cares. No one are mean just because they want to be mean. They just don't care. If you want to watch a video, you watch a video. If you want to make a movie or watch a movie, you do that. If you want to play a game, you play a game. You don't care about what the characters look like. Any of this shit. Doesn't matter. However, I want to say this now. Before we continue on, I am going to show you guys now my Be Right Back screen because I need to go to the bathroom. So I thought it would be cool to just show you now. I have a new Be Right Back screen too, which is this one. So I'll be back in a sec, guys. Give me about 2 minutes max. I'm all back. Sorry, that took a little bit longer than I thought it would. But we're back. So, to continue on from where we left. Anime girls, love them. Both thick and slim. Everything. Nice. Then we have the next thing, 3D modeling. As you guys might know, I have talked a lot of times about how I was making a movie where I did a lot of 3D modeling. And thus now, I have begun to enjoy 3D modeling way more than I thought I would. Just by doing all this modeling stuff, making the characters, the clothes, texturing, all this stuff. Now, it also says drawing. However, I wanna say this. Drawing is fun for me, yes. But I still don't know how to draw. I don't know how it works. I do everything in my power to make things more difficult or take longer for me to make a drawing, because I have other ways of drawing than a normal person does, which by the way is not tracing. I do kinda, but also not really. What I basically normally do is I take a bunch of pictures, stack them on top of each other, move them around, and then draw on top of it, move it around again, and draw on top of it. Until I have the basic sketch of what I want to do, and then I draw the rest and like guess half of it. That's how I draw. So I don't know how to draw. I don't know how light works still. I'm just guessing everything when it comes to lighting. The most fun part for me is finally putting colors on it, because it's kind of cool seeing it being more alive with colors on, even though I don't know how lighting works still. But I like drawing sometimes. I don't do it as often, but I did, however, last stream prepare a lot of drawings for the after last stream, which was Frobsia's birthday. If you don't know who Frobsia is a character that I made to my friend, which I also do call Frobsia. So I made a character for her so she can be in my manga universe, basically. So I have my own OC character called Frobsia Yubi, and then I have myself, Anrex Zekai. And I made some drawings for her that I then, this is also the thing, I typically mostly used to post drawings on DeviantArt, a website where you post art. However, starting from today, I'm gonna stop using DeviantArt, because DeviantArt has a dumbass thing where you have to pay to not have AI take your pictures and use them without permission for that AI generation shit. So I'm gonna start using Pixiv instead. Pixiv is a website where, if you're cultured, you know it. There's a lot of, not only like not safe for work art, but there's also safe for work, and there's some very beautiful art in general also on there. It doesn't have to be like sexually or anything. So that I'm gonna use pixiv.net, which is where I'm gonna post all my drawings from now on instead. So if I do draw anything, I post it there. I will have that updated in my socials and in my links and every single place I upload stuff from now on. So just know that I am not using DeviantArt anymore. I'm gonna use Pixiv instead. If you ever were interested in seeing my drawings that I put up sometimes, I don't know, a few times a year, I do drawings and put them up now. Daisy Armor 2 mod, says Daisy. So for those who don't know, I really love survival games. Although I haven't really played them a lot on stream, I love survival games. I love the feeling of just being free, going around, looting, and surviving zombies or robots or whatever the enemy is, but actually being in apocalypse, finding scaring around for resources, searching around for resources. So I really love games like that. And Daisy Armor 2 mod, which is basically a mod for Armor 2 that was made where you can survive against zombies in a big world. Now, the game itself is very old. It's all the way back in like 2013, which is not that old, but it's still old, meaning that it's very difficult to find servers to play on because almost nobody plays on them anymore. And if you don't know about the mod, just know that the DayZ Arma 2 mod was what first was created before the game called DayZ was made, which is like a game, a full-on developed game now that you can play on Steam that was inspired and made out of the Arma 2 mod. So DayZ is just the full game version, where Arma 2 mod was also technically a game, but you had to have 2 games to play it. You had to have Arma 2 and Arma 2 Operation Arrowhead. And then you can download the DayZ mod, which is actually free if you didn't know. So the mod is free, but you do need to buy the 2 games in order to then install it and then play it. But I still think Arma 2, the DayZ mod, is way better than the DayZ standalone that was released afterwards. Because again, it's just different. There isn't really that much difference in both games, I'm gonna be honest. Well, graphics a little bit better, yes, in the game, not the mod. But in the game, let's just say in the game you can jump, but in the mod you can't. And that is it. I'm not kidding you. That is the only like difference. Well, that's that, and then there's the interface. So like your inventory, it looks shit. I'm just gonna say this. I've never been a fan of the DayZ game's inventory. It looks shit. But Arma 2 one, see, now we're talking. That was a nice one. So I will be trying and play. I will probably play this on my next birthday next year. Because again, my birthday is January 3rd, so it's already been that way long ago. But yeah, I will be doing that on my birthday. And then spicy food. Now, I had a little bit of a trouble some time trying to figure out what this food was called in English, but basically I think spicy meat stew is probably very close to what it actually is. The type of, well, it is literally meat stew, but spicy. In Danish it's called chili con carne, which is basically just, again, meat stew, but with a lot of chili and other like spices in it. And yeah, spicy pizza I love just ordering a really spicy pizza with a lot of meat on and some salad and woo, that's good. Oh, that's good. I will say this, even though I love spicy food, like meaning that I like food that's a little bit more spicy than normal spicy food, I'm not really, like, I haven't tried eating Thai food or whatnot, so don't count me in on that. I mean, it probably does taste good, but I will say though, at some point, if the food becomes so hot, or if it becomes so spicy that you literally can't taste it, that it's just, I'm sorry, it tastes like shit. I'm not gonna like it. One thing I want to say that I actually didn't put down was that I actually want in the future to do like chili challenges, where I actually thought of an idea where, like, if I play a game where I think I have a chance of actually playing, because I'm very bad at playing games, I'm very bad at gaming, I'll be good at games, I'm not good at games. I thought that every time I died, I would have to take a teaspoon of an incredibly hot sauce, whatever I can find, as a punishment. And I thought about doing stuff like I actually thought a lot about incorporating a lot of spicy food related stuff into my gaming, just because I think that's one of the few things that I want to do and that I can do where it's not really that expensive, and it's also something I feel more confident in being able to do compared to other stuff. And then we have my favorite times of the year, summer and autumn. I love summer because I just love being able to go in shorts and a t-shirt and then go out to the beach. I love it. However, the reason why I say autumn is also one of my favorite seasons is because autumn gives me an excuse to wear hoodies. And if you don't know me, I love wearing hoodies. I think genuinely that anyone who wears a hoodie can look good in it. It doesn't matter if you're fat, if you're slimmy, is that a term? If you're slim or normal weight or whatever you are, I think anyone can look good in a hoodie. I will say though, again, if you're obese, I don't know about that. But then again, there might be some. I don't know, there might be some that actually looks good. Again, I just think generally most people can look really, really good in the hoodie. So like, let's say for me, again, you can't see this, but a little bit of immersion break. In real life, my back is not straight. And I have terrible gamer posture. I will say it probably isn't as bad as I think it is, because I have noticed I've had an easier time getting my back straightened out when I'm not sitting down, and it is somewhat easier than I thought it would be, but I still do have terrible gamer posture. So, but if I wear a hoodie, I look fine. Okay, I'm not gonna say that I look handsome or like I'm just a supermodel or whatnot, but what I will say is I think I at least look average from the front. And if you look at me from the side, I look below average. I'm just gonna say that. That's all I'm gonna say. So as long as you don't look at me from the side, I'm good. It's fine. Responsible, independent people. I mentioned this also a bunch of times through the past streams that I think the most coolest thing a person can be is a responsible adult and independent. Because I don't know, I just like people who know what they're doing or know that they can handle themselves as an adult. They can be an adult, they can do stuff even if they don't want to, and they also got some knowledge about what they're doing, so they also seem wise in that sense. So they don't just do it because they want to do it, as in like, oh, I want to be independent just because it sounds cool. No, they actually know somewhat of what they're doing in the field of what they're independent in. And that's what I respect a lot about a lot of the VTubers that I watch. Which is why, like, again, this is one of my few things that if you were to like ask me what is the favorite trait I have, what is the one trait that I will find more cooler than anything in any person that I meet, it would be if they are responsible or independent in whatever they're doing. But again, if they're both, that would make me feel kind of amazed, because a lot of people like to be independent, but that doesn't mean you're necessarily responsible. But the same can also be said the other way. Like an example could be, let's say you are independent, so you work for yourself, or you are you are leader of a company or whatever you are, and you do pretty much most, if not almost everything, and you're good at what you're doing. But when you come home, you can't do the normal things that you would do. Like you can't take care of yourself physically, mentally. You can't take care of your places you live. You have trouble socializing, all this stuff. But probably not that respectable or cool, I guess. But then you have the other way, where it's just the opposite. So you might be good at doing things, but you don't have anything specifically you are doing with your life. You're just kind of like soulless, just doing whatever and going through the day. And I do get the point that not everyone can be like this, because a normal full-time job means that you don't really have time a lot of time to do much of anything. So they either use their weekends on just chilling, sleeping, eating, and cleaning, and then when they're done with that, but don't really have a lot of time, either that or they don't. I'm not gonna try and judge people here. All I'm saying is, if you are responsible adults and you're independent, I think that's the most respectable thing a person can be, and that's what I like. Now, having deep conversations and talking a lot. Yes, I like talking a lot because I can talk about things for all of eternity. Doesn't matter what it's about, I can talk about it. It doesn't have to be about bad things, it doesn't have to be about good things. That's also why I like having deep conversations. Not that I can't do small talk, but I love having deep conversations about like the universe or the human mind, or things that just seems questionable while like you have trouble explaining it. I just like talking about these things. Kind of like just controversy around things. I like talking about those. Now, do I believe in every single controversy that I hear? No, because I already have automatically intended in my brain that if I hear the word controversy, then I automatically don't believe it. Because I'm very much this is something I also didn't really write down, but I am kind of an atheist, so, but I also believe in ghosts, and I also believe that there is a life after death, and though I don't really know yet if I fully believe this, I have a hopeful, this is like me wishful thinking, that I believe that when you die, you get to live in your own personal paradise for a limited time as a kind of reward in a way if you did good in life. Now I'm not about all that like God and like heaven and hell. I don't believe in that, but I do believe that there exist a world where like when you die you get to have your own personal paradise, be there for some time, and then you have to be reincarnated again with all your memory lost, and then you can just go about becoming another person, because again, how would you be able to be the same person again twice? That doesn't make sense. But I do believe that's more like wishful thinking. It's not like, I don't really know if I fully believe there exists a personal paradise. I do believe there is something, but I don't know if I would say I believe there is a personal paradise fully. That's just wishful thinking. Now, other than that, and also believing in ghosts and spirits, I am mostly, if we're not talking about those things, mostly an atheist. So I want a logical explanation, or I'm very skeptical about something and don't fully believe in anything before I've seen more proof. But that doesn't mean I'm not open to hear about things that might seem supernatural, because that's also very interesting. I like watching also shows that are supernatural, so it goes kind of into that too, in a way. Like, it's not like that I can look at it differently just because I'm an atheist. That's all I'm trying to say. Now, the next thing is dancing and voice impressions. Now, I don't know how to dance, but I feel like, hear me out, I feel like if I were to dance, learn how to dance to this, I would have an easy time. Because I was born with rhythm in my body, and that's not a joke, by the way. I have an incredibly easy time going in to just completely the rhythm, no matter what speed it is, in any song. I have an easy time doing that. Even though I don't know any dance moves, I feel like because I'm good at getting into the rhythm, I might have an easier time at learning it. And I do want to say, in the future, I want to do like VHS dancing streams where I both learn how to dance and show off the moves that I've learned. I want to do that too. That's also why I think my new 4.0, you see right here, looks cool enough to be able to look like a dance character, in a way, if you ask me. Also because it's tech just looks badass. So, yeah. So, that's it for that page. Let's move on to the next one. The next one is, yes, my dislikes. So, I don't really have a lot of dislikes, actually. I want to clarify, just because I dislike something doesn't mean I hate it. It's just that it's not really my cup of tea. Yes, I don't like avocados. I don't know how to explain this, but I like guacamole, but avocados, no, I don't like the taste of it, no. But I like the guacamole, which is kind of funny because guacamole is literally made out of avocado, so that doesn't really make sense. But I guess maybe the spice and like other stuff put in it mixed together makes it, I don't know. I feel like that might be the thing that makes it me actually be able to like it. And then we have rice porridge. Now there isn't, I don't know if this is the actual full word for it, but in Denmark we have a specific type of dinner we eat every Christmas, which is rice porridge. And I don't know why, but rice porridge is one of the very few dishes. I'm not a picky eater, trust me. I am not a picky eater. I like a lot of different food. You could basically go into a superstore and pick any type of food almost without any trouble. Well, you can. Actually, not almost. You can pick any type of food in most grocery stores, and I'll be able to actually eat it and like it and not be like a picky eater. But the rice porridge is one of those very few types of dinner meals where I'm shitting you. I'm shitting you. I'm not shitting you. I literally feel so uncomfortable in my throat. I feel like I'm about to throw up just by the smell of rice porridge. I don't know why. It's one of the very, very few, it's not the only type of food where I actually like feel physically sick if I'm too much around that food, or like if I had to eat it. If I had to eat it, last time I tried eating it was back in like 2015, and when I tried eating it, I was so close to throwing up. So I just didn't eat it. So now every time at Christmas, my family eats rice porridge, and I just get toast or something else to eat instead. So that's like the only food where I'm actually kind of left out in my own country, because Denmark is very much a country that really likes eating rice porridge at Christmas. It's a big tradition in Denmark, in fact. So I just can't participate in it. But yeah. And then we have lobster soup. Now, that's a little bit of a weird type of food. Like, okay, who thinks of like, oh, I really want some lobster soup today? I know you don't, but hear me out. There was one time I was at a party or a festival, whatever you want to call it, with my family, celebrating a family member, and we had to have lobster soup. Now, I've never tried this before, but this actually made me throw up. Like, I took 3 spoons of this, and I was like, it kind of tastes like food you have thrown up. But okay, ugh. And then like a few seconds after, I literally ran out to the bathroom and threw up. Like, I literally did. And I had to like act like nothing was wrong and just try not to look sick, and then just don't eat that meal at all. So that's why I found out that lobster soup is also a no-go. But I'm pretty sure, I can't remember the rest, but there are about 3 other foods left that I don't like. And then I'm telling you, other than that, pretty much every other food on the planet I like. At least all the ones I've tried. So I'm not a picky eater. I can eat almost everything. It's just rice porridge, lobster soup, avocado, not counting guacamole. And then there's 2 or 3 others that I can't remember what is. Oh no, I know what is. One of them is actually peanut butter. I don't like peanut butter. I don't like. I think it's the consistency, but of a texture or whatever. It's no. I don't like that. Those are like the types of food that I just can't. I just can't. It makes me feel sick. And then we have another thing that I actually don't think I ever said, but although I do like playing horror games, I feel uncomfortable in another way that other people do when they get scared. Because you might know, like, many people when they play horror games, they easily get scared because of like a loud sound or a jump scare or a loud sound, whatever. For me, it's not really the jump scare of a loud sound that's uncomfortable for me. That I don't know how to explain it, but basically imagine this. You can be normally scared, like you normally are, of a normal fast jump scare in a game, or a monster hunting you or whatever. For me, I feel scared not in my head, but in my soul, when I hear a very loud, distorted, scary sound. So let's say you take a scream from a jump scare and you just drag the scream out, make it be incredibly long, and it gets distorted over time. Ugh, bro, I can't. That is so uncomfortable, and I feel scared in my soul. The same way where like I mentioned this also very few times, but Sonic.exe are literally the only, and I would say this, the only .exe creepypasta or horror monster or whatever you name it that genuinely gives me trauma every time I see him. So I cannot play Sonic.exe games. But I still play normal Sonic games. But I'm just saying, like, I genuinely, like, in my soul feel scared when I see people play Sonic.exe or see Sonic.exe. And it's the same amount of scare, like, uncomfortability that I feel almost when I also hear loud, distorted, scary noises or sounds. So that's another thing about me too. But don't get me wrong, I do like horror games, but if it's like I just described, it would be very troublesome for me to actually get through the game. Although I'm not really scared watching movies. I'm never scared watching horror movies. Those are not scary. But playing games, that's different for me because you're actually in the session. You're in it. So it's very different. But top-down viewed games, less strategy games. Now, even though I'm a very logical person, it doesn't mean automatically that I like strategy games. Top-down viewed games. But you would think so normally. But no, actually, I have a very hard time being interested in the game if it's like played from like the sky, viewing down, top-down view, and if it's not a first person or third person. If it's not a first person or third person game, I have trouble getting immersed and liking the game in general. Now that isn't to say that there isn't a few top-down view games that I actually like playing in the past. For example, I like playing City Skylines, which is a city building game where you look from up from the sky. And I also do have some few strategy games that I got for free through like Steam for a limited time and other places. And I haven't really tried them. I might try them. I haven't said this, but I want to try games that I don't like. I give them an honest try and make a review out of it, so I can actually like analyze if I genuinely don't like it, the concept, or if it's just me like hating for the sake of hating or disliking. I mean, yeah, again, I don't hate it, I just dislike it. Strategy games, now I didn't say this too, but turn-based games, kind of a turn off for me because then you have to think. And I don't mean that I don't think in playing games. It's just when there's strategy involved, where it's like a main element. It's just so much to the point where like I don't know if I like it, or like there are some games where it looks fun, but I don't know if I would play it. But again, I want to try those games in the future, so I know whether or not if it's something that I do like or not playing, so I'm not just talking out of my ass. And being around big groups of people, like 10 plus people. I am very much an introvert. I have very few times where I can be extroverted. One example where I might have like one day out of every second month or something where when I'm at my workplace, I'm actually like extroverted and I'm willing to talk more to the people that I'm providing service for, and I'm also just more talkative that day. That is very rare, by the way. It can happen between every second month, every third month, fourth. It could be whatever. It's very random. But I normally don't do it much. Not to say that I can't talk to people, by the way. That's not the thing. It's not that I'm so shy I can't talk to anyone. I just have a mental battery that gets drained very fast if I were to be with someone, hanging out with someone in real life. Now, it is actually different for me when it's online. When it's online, I can handle it way more. Like when it's online, I can actually talk to people, socialize for way longer, days on end, without troubles, without being much of like any trouble at all. So I can still socialize. I just prefer it on the internet because there's so many factors that just makes my battery way more drained if I were to meet someone physically in real life, or even if just hanging out with someone in general. Like it's a lot for me. It can be, at least. But on to the next panel. Now, I bear with me. I know there's a lot of text, and there are going to be way more text on the next panels after this, but I'm going to try and read it out as thorough as I can without tripping over the words too much. So please bear with me. I will try my best. So, skills. Now, I am almost, if not 100% certain now, that if you were to tell me, Anrex, make a 3D model, I would be able to make the 3D model without much trouble. Now, would it probably still take time, because I prefer doing things manually rather than using shortcuts of doing it? Yes. Will it do good? Yes. So, it's just that it's gonna take time, but I know how to 3D model. that's a skill that I think I can say now I actually have now, and not something I'm just getting better at, which I am still. I think every skill in general you can get better at, no matter what it is. But I would say I'm good enough to actually make 3D models, specifically characters, without much trouble. Although male characters are still somehow have trouble with sometimes, but not that it's impossible. Then we have responsible. Again, as I mentioned before, I am a responsible person, so if there's something that needs to be done, whether or not I like it, I would be able to do it without much of an issue. 100% I can guarantee you that. So something like staying consistent and actually streaming once a week, I can do that without problems. Having YouTube shorts and TikToks out every day, no problem. I can do that. I can always provide content, I can always stream. I don't see that ever as a problem. But I do know that I have a problem of being way too goal-oriented, meaning that I tend to do everything that I do right now 100%. Which I will be talking about more later on. But basically, right now, to put a little bit of a sneak peek into what I'm trying to say, I will still try and only stream once a week because I am not social. I want to meet people. I want to have something I can look back on in my 20s. So that's why I'm not going to be streaming more than once a week. And maybe doing some YouTube videos for the in between here and there. Because I shit you not, again, I almost have no one to talk to. I have literally like no one to talk to in my age range. So I wanna explore, and if I'm lucky, I might even make friends with someone who's also a VTuber or content creator, so I can have an even better excuse of trying to collab with people in the future, maybe even. Because collaboration is not something I want to do yet. That's a little bit too early, way too early still. I want to focus on my own stuff. But yeah, I'm a technical thinker too, meaning that I can pretty much, like, it's not that I'm the biggest genius, but if you have software issues, like the issue with your game, whatever it is, I'm pretty good at like navigating the internet and also coming up with solutions myself as to what the issue could be, and then try and figure out what it is we need to do to fix the problem. I'm okay good at it, but I'm not a master. But I have tried making game servers in the past. If you didn't know, back in my school days, I was actually the guy that made game servers all over the school. So like if you wanted a Minecraft server, I could make it for you. If you wanted a Rust server, I can make it for you. If you wanted a Daisy server, I can make it for you. Pretty much, like, I was that guy. I made game servers, and I did that through school all the way up to like 2022. I think that's the last time I made a game server, when I had someone to play with. So I know how to make game servers, at least those, as in like Rust, Minecraft, AC, those. I know how to do those, but any other than that I don't know. But I would probably be okay good at figuring out other games too if I really wanted to. Voice quick. Talks a lot. I don't know. Is that a skill? You could argue that is a skill, because if you don't have anything to talk about, and I just was like, it wouldn't be very interesting now, wouldn't it? It would be very interesting if I was just silent all the time and I didn't talk. But I will say that moving forward, not this stream, but starting next month, I will try and be way more laid back, because I still do have some tendencies to force myself to talk instead of being a little bit more laid back and chill about it, and not having to force myself sometimes to talk. I'm trying to like slowly get more laid back, be more relaxed, more try and enjoy things, and not have to constantly think about doing everything seriously, because that's my biggest issue. I always do things at 100%, put my 100% into everything that I'm doing, and I don't try and relax and do other things in between what I'm doing, and then only do a little bit of it. Like, what I'm trying to say is, the healthiest thing you could do, if there's something you're very passionate about, don't put 100% into it, because if you do that, you're not gonna have any percentage or time left to like socialize, play games, do anything in general. That's how I've been the last 2-3 years basically. So I wanna be more laid back. I'm still gonna stream every Friday because I feel I can still do that without needing to feel forced about doing other stuff too, so I can have more time also when I'm not streaming to do other stuff. And that's not to say I'm stopping. I just want to clarify that. So again, it's a lot, but I'm still gonna try and enjoy myself, just a little bit more laid back. So, can draw, but not an expert. Yes, as I said before, I can draw, but I don't know fully yet how. I just know a way to go about it to make a drawing that looks as good, but I don't know how actually it works. I'm just guessing. So, yeah. Then we have my favorite animes. Now, I watched a lot of anime. If there's one thing that I have kept doing through the whole of my childhood up to now, it's watching anime. And the thing is, I like watching all of the anime that most people hate. So, if you don't like Fairy Tail, if you don't like Sword Online, if you don't like High School DxD, No Game No Life, Bleach, all of these anime that's always hated on, then yeah, you're probably not gonna like any of the other animes too that I also like watching, or just in general what type of anime I like. I really like ecchi, romance, fantasy, isekai, and shonen anime. Shonen anime is basically just anime that cater toward the male audience, or like teenager, young adults, basically. And most of them have like are like surrounded by around like fighting animes where you fight a lot. So that's kind of like my favorite type of anime. I'm a very cultured man, I would say. I quite enjoy my ecchi anime very exquisitely. So yeah, anime is some of the few things that I will probably never in my life stop watching, stop consuming. I'll always watch anime without much of a problem. I'll never get tired of it, basically what I'm saying. And yeah, I do like watching romance anime, which is kind of fun because that's not something that many guys talk about when like watching anime. But yeah, I do like romance. Although I don't think I'm a very romantical guy, I like romance stories also in general. Because like, I don't know, I just like romantic stuff, even though I'm not very romantic at all. But yeah, then we have my favorite games. Now, these games, many of these games you will already be able to see under my Twitch stream, because I always have listed the types of games I go back to and the types of games that I do play. Now, I really like simulator, survival, and horror games, and sandbox games, because those are literally the games that I mostly kind of played. Like, I played in the past, I played a little bit differently, but still very much the same kind of games that I do today. Back in the day, I used to play more racing games. I used to play more Sonic games. I haven't played any Sonic games yet. I think that would be kind of on brand if I did, considering that I'm the god of speed. That's my god title. I'll also be explaining thoroughly afterwards what I mean by that, because again, this is a whole explanation. So I will actually finally be explaining what I am as a being, and not just a VTuber, like what my race is, all this stuff. But basically, I'm the god of speed. That's what I'm gonna say for now. But I like playing survival game, horror games, sandbox games, all of these games. Now, the one game I will always play, or I'll never stop playing, is VHS. Not a lot through this year, but I will be doing more VHS content next year. And I will still do a little bit of like VHS videos also. I want to do more video stuff rather than just streaming, because I find it more fun, and I think I can do more videos than streams if I focus on that more. That's what I'm trying to say too. Minecraft, I thought about playing Minecraft, but I don't know, because it's just such a big game and it's so saturated. It's very hard for me to find a way to make it interesting, other than me just like to playing the game. And I'm also the type of Minecraft player who prefers building stuff rather than just adventuring or going into dungeons, all that. I prefer finding resources and building. I'm always that kind of person when it comes to survival games. Looting, exploration, and building. Those are like the three type of things that I want to do mostly in all survival games. Beat Saber. Now, Beat Saber is a Beat Saber. Beat Saber is a game that I don't think I'll ever be playing much more of in the future because copyright issues. Like, I can't use literally anything when it comes to that. Although I might be able to buy some licensing to a few songs that I will be able to then play in Beat Saber if I either make my own map or I happen to find the exact same song that isn't a remix that I have licensed to. That way I might be able to do Beat Saber streams in the future, but other than that, I don't think Beat Saber is ever going to be a game that I'll be playing a lot of, which is kind of sad, because Beat Saber is actually the only game out of any other game that I've played through my life that I'm actually genuinely good at. I was like expert plus level without much struggle. So that was the #1 type of game that I was good at, and I can't really show it off, which is kind of sad, but hey, that's how it is sometimes. 7 Days to Die, I like it for the same reason that I like Minecraft, although I do like exploration, or exploring and looting a little bit more in 7 Days to Die, because, I don't know, I just like the way everything is built, the building system, scavenging system. I like that a little bit more. Don't get me wrong, I love Minecraft, but 7 Days to Die definitely has its own charm. Apex Legends are one of the very few first-person shooter games that I still play today. In the past, I actually also did play a lot of Call of Duty games. I played like Call of Duty Black Ops 1 and 2, and I played Modern Warfare 1 and 2 and 3. Mostly multiplayer in all of them. I didn't really play the story, or other than in the Black Ops series, like the first and the second. And I also tried playing the very, very, very first like old Call of Duty games, but since there's not really many people playing it, you can't really do much about it. Like that was like one server I found where there was like 1 or 2 dudes in it that played in that game. I think it was literally the game Call of Duty 2, like one of the very first Call of Duty games I played. So, but I played the hell out of Call of Duty Black Ops 2. I played the hell out of it. I loved playing multiplayer because in my school we actually had an Xbox and a PlayStation, and we had literal hours dedicated in our school where we were allowed to do whatever we want. And you want to know what we did? We played split screen, Call of Duty, first what's called free death matches and team death matches. It was the shit. It was always so fun to play back then, and back then I could actually do quick scope and no scope without any issue. I was actually really good at it. Now I'm terrible at first person shooter games, and I might sometimes rarely be lucky enough to get a no scope, but that's about it. So Phasmophobia, a game that I'll always be coming back to because it's one of the very few horror games that I'm generally never scared in playing, even in VR mode, which I've only done up to far. I've only streamed, Phasmophobia mostly in VR mode. I think I only have one stream where I played without, but other than that, it's pretty much just a fun game always to come back to and play. Though I really would wish that they finally would make a level editor so you can make your own worlds and go in those too, because it's like the only thing they need to do to make the game infinitely like replayable. Like you can imagine just having infinite worlds, be able to play forever, have all the different, imagine making a literal world with your own house in it and be able to go and haunt in it or search for ghosts. Could you imagine how cool that would be? But they just don't do it because there's some dumb excuse that I have explained. So they have explained, so they're not ever gonna do it, which is sad. But please, if anyone sees this, please make a Phasmophobia game where we have a level editor, because if you do that, you are going to win against every other game that have tried making their own parody of Phasmophobia. You're going to win that game, as in like you're gonna win the race of becoming the most popular game. I guarantee you, if you make a Phasmophobia game and have a little editor where people can literally build their own worlds, I'm telling you, guaranteed, if you're good at promoting it and getting a lot of people to play it and show it off and explicitly explain that there's a little editor where people can make their own worlds they can play in the game after have made it, it's going to be the #1 type of Phasmophobia game on the platform, on Steam. I'm telling you, I'm not overreacting. It is the way to be able to get infinite content. But yeah, enough about that. Mental Health Singer, a game that I did play. I think I actually did play the whole game on stream, and I also finished it through stream. So I experienced the game for the first time while streaming, and it was an experience. It was one of the very few games that I played where I genuinely, like, really felt hyped, where I was having fun. It's been such a long time where I had so much fun playing a game where I just felt like a badass, and it was an experience. So again, go watch that if you're interested, or just check out Mental Health Singer in general if you want, because it's such a good game. And then we have Dying Light 1 and 2. I loved the old Dying Light. The Dying Light 1, I loved the Dying Light. Now, I do know that the Dying Light 2, the story isn't as interesting from many people's perspectives. And I will say that too, it really isn't. But gameplay-wise, I think it's just as good as the first game. And that's the most important thing. So if I really wanted to, even though I have completed both stories in both games, I would be able to go in and still have fun, because there's still so many side quests and things that I haven't done in both this first and second game. So it could be fun going back into that at some time in the future, maybe. Who knows? And we have one of my very favorite survival games. Again, DayZ Armored 2 mod. One of my very favorites. I will explain about it, so I'm not going to talk much about it, but yeah, one of the best I've ever played in the past. Then we have Watch Dogs 1 and 2. One of the only few franchises that I've actually completed. And no, we do not count Watch Dogs Legion as well, because Watch Dogs Legion is not a story that continues from the second game. It is a game, Watch Dogs Legion is a game you can play up to like 72 different ways, and it solely depends on what character you pick. So it has nothing to do with the story in the first and second game. So I will say this, yes, I have finished playing Watch Dogs. I have finished the franchise. And I also have almost finished doing all quests and things in Watch Dogs 2. Almost everything. I'm almost 100%ed, but I haven't. So I will probably go back to playing that too in the future. That would be fun to try and play all these games again and actually complete them, because there's a lot of these games that I never really finished, but I got close to. It would be fun to actually get a full-on ending on it. And then Assassin's Creed games. I just love open world games in general, so I feel like no matter what kind of Assassin's Creed game it is, as long as it's third person or first, though I don't know how you make it first person Assassin's Creed game, but sure. Again, as long as it's third person Assassin's Creed and you have an open world, I'm game. I love having that. There's something fun about going around in an open world and finishing all of these like quests, but are not even necessarily the main quests. It's just fun for me to go around and finish everything as if I'm actually exploring the whole city. It's kind of fun for me that way. So that's also one of the few games I will always go back to in the future, which is also, again, if you want more just a general explanation of the games, I always go back to, I have a panel under my stream right now that literally says it. Favorite music. This might come as a shock to some people, because many people argue that you cannot like heavy metal and country music at the same time. But guess what? I can. I like heavy metal, I like EDM music, I like glitch hop music, which is a kind of like way more lighter version of dubstep that is also not really dubstep at all actually, but it's more like just electronic music that, as the name suggests, the songs like glitch and hop in the way the sounds are made in the song, and I like it. It just sounds cool. And then again, country music. I love country music. If there's one thing I want to have like a is it a Texas accent or whatever, like South American accent. I really want an accent like that, so I can like sing like country music. Well, that could be so cool, having an accent and sing that. I love country music, bro. It's so nice. It's so cool. And then to explain why I've said S styles music. So my number one favorite type of music doesn't have a genre. Now, you can believe me if you want or not, but there is no real easy way to define what my number one favorite type of music genre is called, because there is no genre for it. So the only way for you guys to understand what my favorite type of music is if you look at it this way. There's a YouTube channel called S Styles Music that uploads music where 90% of the songs, like most of the time, are very close to the type of songs that I like. Basically saying that about 7 to 8 out of every video. So let's say, this is just an example. This is not how many videos they upload every day. This is just an example. Let's say they upload 10 videos through a week, and about 5 to 6 of the videos, sometimes it's 5 to 6 of the videos where I like the song that's in that video, and that's my favorite type of music. Sometimes it is 7 to 8 or 8 to 9 out of the videos where the song that's played in there that I like. This is like the only YouTube channel that I follow that uploads music where most, if not almost all of the songs on the channel are literally my number one favorite type of music. So if you really want to understand what it is that I mean by the fact that you can't really have an easy way of explaining what my favorite music genre is, but you want to learn, go check out the S-Style Music channel on YouTube. I don't know how often they upload. I think it's like maybe like what, 2 times a week or something. Maybe it's more, I don't know. Time flies by so fast, it might only be once a week. But that's my favorite type of music, basically. Now to go to the next pedal, because there's more, yes. Okay, so tags. Now I do know that I am a very small VTuber, and it seems a little weird to have all of these things already planned out, explaining all of these things when, again, I'm just one person. It's a little bit too much already for such a small creator as me to do this, but here we go. I have tags, in fact. I have some of these tags I've been using a lot of the time already, like my Anrex watch channel, which is basically every time that you see, so you see this Twitch stream here. When I'm done streaming this, I will then edit a little bit out of the audio, and then I will upload this whole stream as a VOD every Sunday on my VODS channel, which I actually never explained, but I do technically upload every Sunday on my VODS channel. And depending on if I only do a just chatting stream, or if I play games and do multiple other things on the stream, I will then cut it into multiple videos on my watch channel. So basically, this video right here today will be cut into 2 things: a just chatting stream and a Bioshock stream. So technically it is one stream, but it's cut into 2. And I will use the Anrex VODS tag for every time I upload that on Twitter, so that people know if they want to watch that. And then we have my clips tag. Clips tag is basically all the clips that I have made. Like, when I say clips, by the way, it is mostly supposed to be like YouTube shorts and TikToks that I also upload on Twitter, but it can also just be normal short videos, like and like, I don't know, 1 to 2, 3 minutes long videos, sometimes even more. But not really supposed to be like fully edited video, just like short videos like you mostly see VTubers upload as videos and not TikToks. Those are the kind of videos you will see me using when I use the Anrex clips tag. Then we have the meme tag. I haven't really posted any memes. I post like maybe 1 or 2, and I don't know how long ago that was, so it's very hard for me to find where those are. But if there were tags or if there were memes, I would use the Anrex memes tag when I post a meme. And then we have my art tag. Now, yesterday I posted a lot of art, which are drawings that I made specifically for my friend Fropsy's birthday. But I also just so happened to be like, oh, you know what? Let me just post it on Twitter. So every time I have a drawing that I made, I will use the Anrex art tag. And then starting from next month, I will start using the Anrex live tag, which I have used in the past, way in the past. But I want to start using it also every time I go live, because might as well just start using it. Now, this is not tags that only I use. I want to clarify, just because this is an art tag and I use it when I post art, that doesn't mean that you are not allowed to draw art or fan art of me and then use the same tag. It's basically just a tag that everyone can use, both me and people who want to draw me or like maybe even make also memes of me or whatnot. So this is basically tags that every one of you guys are allowed to use right now. You are allowed to use them, all of them, but I would probably not use the Anrex Watch channel tag because, well, I'm the one uploading the VOD of the stream, so it really wouldn't make sense for that. But like, yeah, that's the tags that I'm gonna have now that both you guys and I can use. So the credits. Now, I actually made everything myself now. So finally, I'm at a point now where I own literally everything on my stream. The only thing that I don't own is I don't own the background music or the music that's provided to my streams. I don't own that, but it is DMCA free music that I use when I stream. And other than that, I pretty much own everything. Now, if you do notice over here, you can see at the credits thing further over there that is one little thing that's different. Because if you look, I have literally tagged myself because, again, I'm the one who made all of this. I made everything. But the only thing that I didn't really, well, I did kind of make, I just used a template on a website to make it, which is this website called nerdordie.com. That's what I used to make my Twitch panels you see under my Twitch stream. But other than that, and the music, I made everything myself. Everything you see from now on is something that I 100% own myself, without just being me using free assets and stuff, which I probably will use at some point, just for the fun of it. But now I never have to worry about the fact that I own everything, and I'm not gonna have idiots be like, oh, you're not allowed to that, even if it's like literally advertised as free assets that I used in the past. But that's it for that now. Let's go on to the next one. Oh, actually, before I do that, let me just clarify that if you ever want to know what the songs are that I'm listening to, go to these places over here. Like, we have 4 places in total. We have Chillhop, we have Onlap, which is Onlap is a rock band where a lot of the songs are copyright free. Well, they at least advertise it a lot, so I'm just gonna hope that that's true, considering they literally say in every single video they upload you're allowed to use it on Twitch, YouTube, everywhere, as long as you credit them, which I do here. So Onlap is a rock band, actually my favorite rock band. And then we have Chillhop, which is also a platform where you can actually get permission to get music from, that you're allowed to use. However, again, I would like to clarify, please do the research yourself, so you know 100% what you're allowed to do. Because the next person or channel where I have the DMCA free music from that I am allowed to use is NightMode. Now, NightMode, most of their songs are DMCA free, but some of them are not. So please check it out and be sure that what you're using is actually okay to use. Don't take my word for it. Do your own research, please. Then we have Streambeats. Streambeats is owned by a big streamer who's called Harris. I can't remember what his full name is, but he basically says that you're allowed to use Streambeats music for your streams. Also too. as long as you credit and whatnot. So I have 4 different places for music: NightMode, Streambeats, Chillhop, and Onlap. So again, if you ever want to know what it is I'm listening to right now, check those out. And if you want me to like answer what it is I'm listening to, because I actually can't hear the music what you guys are listening to right now, I'm listening to something else. But if you really want, just text in the chat and I will do my best to try and find out what that song is. And then you could click on these and move on to that. I would like to help you guys, because music is one of the few things that is a big part of my life. Because although I didn't really explain this also in any of these panels moving forward, we are going to view it very soon now, but I actually have Tourette's. Tourette's is one of those very few syndromes where you can actually minimize your syndrome by doing something other than drugs. So basically, to explain, Tourette's people are people who have tics, make sounds, or say things out random because of neural signals in your brain are being like misconnected, or like they don't fire off like normal people's brain do. So you might end up making tics with your face, which is like for me, when I move my head up and down, that's why I make like head tics, or if I roll my eyes. And though you can't see it, I also tense up my throat. Those are the 3 main things I have left of tics that I do. Other than that, I don't really do much tics, and I also have a very mild version of Tourette's. And I also have ADD, which is just like basically some ADHD, like ADHD. I can't talk. ADD is basically the same as ADHD, with the only difference being that it's way more happening inside your head rather than being physically hyper. So yeah, and because Tourette's is one of those very few things where like you can actually do something other than drugs, which is music, that means the music is a big part of me. So basically what I'm saying is, you can listen to music if you have Tourette's, and it would actually lessens the amount of tics, noise, or like sounds and things that you say or do, and it does help. For some, it might be dancing, some it's listening to music, some it's singing, some it's even making music. It doesn't matter, just one of those things, and it actually helps against your Tourette's. I still don't know why it is like that, or why it's been documented like that, but that's actually a thing. So yeah, I have Tourette's, I have ADD. There's a little bit extra fact there. Let's go on to the next panel. Now, if you don't know what an OSHI mark is basically a mark that you use in a community to basically, and then when again, as I said before, I'm a very small creator. This is very, very early and kind of silly for me to already do this, but imagine that you're a big VTuber and you have like an icon that symbolizes you, so that when someone wanna like show another VTuber, they would use this OSHI mark as a way to like saying, okay, this is the mark of this VTuber. So basically, it's like saying that this is gonna be the OSHI mark for me and you guys. So this is like the symbol icon that's gonna explain, oh, it's Anrex, it's that guy, oh okay, yes, using that symbol. So this is gonna be my OSHI mark that we're gonna use from now on to like explain who I am, or like just showcase. So again, this is for the way more far into the future, but I thought, why not just have it made so it's just there for when, if I ever get lucky enough to get recognition like that, which I don't believe, but again, no reason to be pessimistic. Who knows? Next on. Now I'm gonna go into something where it's gonna be very heavily in-depth explained. So basically, I have built up a whole universe, which I'm not gonna be there's a lot of things I will not be explaining to you guys about the universe, but I will be explaining the bare minimum of who I am as my race, my VTuber race, and some stuff about my universe, so you can actually start to understand what I mean. Because a lot of the times I've said that I'm a vampire deity when I'm technically actually not a vampire deity. It's just easier to say that I am because it's very complex to explain. So I've made up different races in my universe, in my VTuber manga universe, because I have a manga that's tied together with my VTuber universe, which I also will be showcasing more of in the future. I'm also thinking of doing like drawing a few panels on stream, so you guys can kind of see it, and then maybe making it even into a bigger thing on stream too. But it's not going to be a priority, it's just going to be in the future I want to do that. So basically, I have made up a few races. Now there are 3 different versions of what I can look like. You have me right now. This is me, casual Anrex Zekai. This is what I normally look like. I am a hybrid of 2 different races. A vampire race that I have made up myself, and a guard race that I also have made up myself. Now, when I'm in my guard mode, my hair turns white and have these blue stripes instead. When I'm in my vampire mode, I have the dark blue hair with black stripes in my hair instead. And the clothes again also does change. So these are the 3 different types of looks that I have. And you might notice, if you have followed me in the past, that I do actually have a 4th way of looking, but that's actually not me. And I'm gonna be going a little bit more into explanation on that a little bit later. But let's move on. Let me try and explain this now. So we're gonna do this. The Zekai verse races explains. In total, there are more than these races, but for now, all you need to know, if you're just following me as for me as being a VTuber making content, if you just follow me because I'm a VTuber or like you're interested in VTubers, this is all you need to know about my universe and me. There are how many? 5 different races: vampires, vampixies, vamprexes, guardians, and hymens. Hymens are basically the exact same as just normal humans. It's just what they are called on a different planet in another solar system that is together with my solar system. So basically explaining, I am from another solar system where there are 3 planets where each planet of those 3, there's another species that lives on it. One is the Hymens, which is just humans. They're just normal humans, where some of them might be able to use magic, but that's like half. So like the half of the population can use magic, other ones can't. So it's kind of just like plain all normal humans, but some of them can use magic. Then we have the vampires. I'm gonna explain the vampires now. So vampires. The vampires are naturally born through evolution like humans. Imagine this, okay? But it started out from bats evolving into a more humanoid creature that in the end looks like a human. Has the weakness of vampires, but looks human and need blood to survive. That is what a vampire is in my universe. So none of that weird shit where like, oh, you have to be human and then you get bit by a vampire, now you're a vampire. No. That doesn't exist in my universe. In my universe, vampires are naturally born through evolution, the same way humans were, but it started out from bats that then slowly got more humanoid and then turned into something that looks way more like a human, but has the same weaknesses as a vampire, still looks human, but needs blood to survive. Then we have vampixes. Vampixes are the 2nd generation of evolution of the vampires who evolves. So they evolved to be able to survive without needing blood to survive. Vampixes are the 2nd generation of vampires who evolved to survive without blood. Can go outside, however, they are more weak being outside, making them easily tired or exhausted, and they thought, and they are thought to be, they tend to have a fragile, slim body, and they have incredibly strong psychic powers. They usually have beautiful hair. That's like a trait, like have like very beautiful, maybe even silky hair. If they let you touch their hair, however, it is seen as an extreme level of trust. That's a thing in their race, in the Vampix's race, is again, if they let you touch their hair while you literally offer them to touch your hair, that's seen as an extreme level of trust that they have in you for allowing you to do that. Because even friends around them, they don't normally allow unless they actually fully trust them. So that's a thing in their world. Then we have Vamprexes. Vamprexes are the third generation of vampires that have an incredibly strong body, making even their skin hard to cut through with swords, has crazy reflexes, and will need to suck another person's blood in order to get access to their psychic powers for a limited time. The more blood they suck, the longer their psychic powers last. Though it mostly lasts for like 5 minutes. 70% of their strength is lost during the night, making them physically weak at night. If they let you suck their blood, it's seen as an extreme level of trust. So that's how it is for them. If they let you suck their blood, that is an extreme level of trust for them. Also because, again, their skin is very hard. They somehow, or sometimes, tend to be a little bit more... again, it doesn't matter if you're a guy or a girl as a Vamprex. As a Vamprex, you tend to be a little bit more... how do I say, like a little bit more harsh, a little bit more manly, like trying not to get hurt, hiding your feelings, being a little bit more harsh in the way that you act, without necessarily being rude. That's just like that's just how they are. They're kind of like proud of themselves, but they're also like respectable in a way, where they don't easily open up. They're very like masculine in a way. Even the women who are Vamprexes too. They usually have spiky hair or messy hair. Basically like this. Again, spiky hair. It doesn't have to be exactly like this, but this is just an example. And then we have the next. Now, the next race is the Guardians. Now, that's a lot of text on this, by the way, and I know it's difficult to read, but I'm going to read everything out, so even the thing behind me, you'll be able to hear what is. Ignore the thing in the upper, completely up in the top. That's just because I lost space to write down. So, the Zekai versus Race Explained Part 2. Guardians Explained. Guardians are a race you can only be born through in 2 ways. One, you get reincarnated and suddenly starts remembering past memories of your past lives and continues to get reincarnated through 100k years. When your soul have been reincarnated to the point where your soul capacity is about to explode, that means the next time you get reincarnated, you'll be born as a Guardian. So, to be a little bit more explaining here, when I mean get reincarnated through 100k years, that means that it's about the minimum it would take for you to have your soul reach the full capacity. Some it might be 90k years, but it's mostly about 100k years it would take for their soul to be fully, their soul capacity be fully filled. I will explain more about what I mean by soul capacity. Just keep, just wait, I will explain that. 2, you are Guardian's parents' kid, aka you. So basically you were born out of 2 Guardians having a fun time and wanting to have a kid. That's basically one of them. Or, however, as long as one of the parents are either pure, that means they are full on Guardian, or at least half Guardian, they can have a child be born as a guardian. As in, like, again, meaning that if the guy who is a half guardian gets a child, that means that again then the guardian child would be a quad guardian. Basically what I'm saying. It's basically how it normally is again. But if it's a pure guardian that has a kid with someone who's not a pure guardian, that then means again the kid will be a half guardian. And half guardian. So that's basically just how it works. Guardians are just like normal humans up to the age of 5. When they reach the age of 5, they start to show signs of what their gain title is. A gain title is the power they have gained through all the incarnations or reincarnations rather. So if, let's say, 80 to 90% of all the lives they have lived, they tended to be fast about most things in their life, basically saying that it again, most of all the lives they have lived, 80 to 90% of them, they're just very fast moving or decision making, fast about everything. Then they will likely get the title called the Guard of Speed. This is just an example, by the way. This can go for everything and anything. So the thing you did the most throughout all the years you lived is the one you're gonna get like the gain title. A gain title means they will get free abilities related to whatever that title is. So, this is just an example. Guardians have a true title, which they can only get access to through using their ability called soul focusing. Soul focusing, which is an ability that lets you go into different states of focus. And for every focus that you use, when using the focus states, your physical and mental abilities gets enhanced. So there are these different types of focus. There's night focus, which is basically just normal focus, which doesn't really let you do much. It's just like, well, it lets you have more spatial awareness, basically. And then super focus gives you like access to do one little thing that you can use. So basically, your true guard title is where you have the ability to control everything that is related to that one thing. But the higher focus state you gain, the more you slowly get more access to your guard title. So in super focus, as an example, I can make invisible walls or barriers. That's what I can do if I use super focus, because I then slowly gain access to a true title, which I'm not going to say what it is because that's kind of part of my lore thing. I don't want to expose that. But then we have supreme focus. Supreme focus is where my hair turns white. This is the base level focus. This is where you say that you are in guard mode, where you are in your guardian mode. This is where you start getting access to actually being able to use the true guard title, which is powers. And though you don't have full access, you have about 30% access to your abilities of like how much powerful your true guard title is. You have about 30% access to that power. And then you have hyperfocus. Hyperfocus gives you 50% access, 50-60% access to be able to use your true guard title to 50% of its capacity or ability, if you get what I mean. And then Nova Focus gives you 100% access to all of your abilities. And then from there on, when you reach the next focus called, where is it? Guardian Focus. Guardian Focus is basically just a boosted, enhanced, even more enhanced version of what you're doing. So not necessarily giving you, making you be able to do more with your ability, but just making you more stronger in the categories of whatever it is your ability is. So making you stronger in that area, physically and mentally. Again, you get physically and mentally stronger in all of these focus states. It's just like a slow ladder that you climb as you get stronger through training. And then the very last focus is cordial focus. Cordial focus is when you have 100% mastered your guard mode, where you have full access to your whole true guard title. You can do everything and beyond with your guard title. So whatever your power is, whatever your abilities is, you can use it to absolutely the max without any limits. Now, you train to get these focus states. You have two ways of training. You can either train using image training, so you sit down and you imagine yourself while trying to move without actually moving, fighting, and as long as you keep doing that, you get better at it. It's basically a way of training your focus state of mind. So you can either train through using imagination, like closing your eyes, training through imagining a fighting scenario and then fighting through that, or you can put yourself in a dimension that has a lot of light tech energy, which I'll be explaining later on, which is kind of like the source of what makes you get stronger as a guardian being. And when you're in that in an realm or dimension that has more light tech energy, if you keep being hurt physically, like you're fighting actually like to the death or just fighting a lot, and you are like in danger as you fight, while you're in that realm, you can get better at using the next focus states. So those are the two only ways you can train. You can train through image training, or like pure out just constant fighting in a realm or dimension that has higher light tech energy. Which is, I will say this, when you're in a dimension or realm that has more light tech energy, it's actually physically dangerous for people who are not either pure guardian or half guardian. If you are under that, then you can physically do things. It can make you act in a weird way, because it literally cuts out all negative energy in your body. So you can start acting weird or do things like you might become sexual, you might become goofy, you might do weird things. All of these things, because it literally, like when you're in a realm like that, it cuts out all negative thoughts and things, anything in your body, both mentally, physically, and spiritually, cuts out everything. So you don't really do what you want to do, or like you start doing things that you normally wouldn't do around strangers, or just doesn't have to be doing. Is just you can also just straight up change as a personality thing. But keep in mind, this is temporarily. This is not like a lasting thing. It's just as long as you're in those dimensions. So it can be dangerous if you're not like half guardian or pure guardian. And then again, it takes time. So all guardians can use night focus and super focus. They can do that right from the beginning. But it takes about 15 to 25 years to be able to have trained so much that you can use supreme focus through training. Again, it can be either one of those two types of training that I already have explained. And then then it would take 100 years to gain hyper focus. It would then take 1,000 years to gain nova focus. To get guardian focus, it would take 10,000 years, and for cordial focus, it would take 100k years to get that. Now, I said this already, but I'm just going to say it again. The true God title is the power to control everything related to whatever that title is. That is what the true God title is. Now, we all Guardians have a few more abilities. That's not really that useful, but we have something called the God sense, which is the ability to see other people's soul capacity. Guardians tend to use their game title instead of their true title to hide what their actual true God title is. So they tend to use their game title as their true God title, as in they use it to lie and keep their true God title a secret. Because again, some people might be scared about what they actually have the ability to do. Guardians are immune to anything that affects their age. Meaning that as long as you don't get killed in battle, we can actually live forever. We're not affected by disease or anything like in our body, anything that can literally kill us naturally, we can't die of. We can only die in accidents or like battle and stuff. That's how Guardians are. So we are immune to anything that affects our age. So yeah, that's how Guardians are. That's what we are. Now on to the next section. This is hybrids, because as I said before, I'm a hybrid of both Vamprex. I'm a hybrid. I'm a hybrid of a guard. I'm a hybrid called the Anrex, which is a combination of a Vamprex and a Guardian. Let me explain. Zekai vs. Race Explained Part 3. Hybrids explains. Anrexes are a hybrid of Guardians and Vamprexes, making them half as strong as a Vamprex, and has the same things as a Guardian. Basically meaning there's no real difference in like if you're a hybrid and if you're like half Guardian, you can do all the same things that a Guardian can do like normally. But you're just a little bit more physically stronger than a normal Guardian, because I'm a half Vamprex, which again, Vamprexes are just incredibly physically strong, have crazy reflexes, and even their skin is hard to cut through using swords. And so yeah, we're just a little bit more physically stronger. We don't have any of the weaknesses of the vampires, vampixes, or vamprexes. So we just basically we have none of the weaknesses that all the other races have. We just kind of like a normal human in that way. We don't have any of the weaknesses. But here's the thing: hybrids can go in to what is called a pure guard mode, or vampix or vamprex mode. Meaning that we can temporarily, as I showed before, I have other ways of looking, the one with blue hair and white hair. If I'm a hybrid, that means that I can go in to those modes. However, there's a difference. So, if you are a hybrid, let's say you're a Anrex or a Garpix, if you're either one of those, you cannot go in to a Vampix or Vamprex mode, vampire kind of mode for very long. You can, for some, it's very random by the way. For some, they can be in that mode for 3 hours. Others, it can be a whole day, like 24 hours. Some it's in half, some it's only 1 hour, some it's 5 hours, some it's 7. It is totally random and it depends on their genes. So some hybrids can use their vampire, Vamprex, Vampix mode for longer, making them be able to use their abilities as well as if they were a pure Vamprex or Vampix. However, the only thing where it isn't the same is that they can go in to the guard mode that Guardians can go into without there being any actual limit to how long they can be in it. So the reason why they can't do that with a vampire mode is because something I'm going to explain later, but basically, shortly explained, it is the fact that being in the vampire mode is going to destroy your body internally if you're not a full-blooded Vamprix or Vampix. So if you're not that, and you go longer for whatever your body can last, your body is gonna slowly start to destroy itself from the inside. And that's why the hybrids can't be in vampire modes for very long. But they can still go into the guard mode however long they want, as long as they want, as the same as the guardians can. So that's like the only difference. So yeah, they can use soul focusing like normal guardians without any issues. So those are the two hybrids that you need to know. Now for the next thing. Now I'm gonna explain what I meant about before. The fact that there's actually a fourth other design of what I look like, but that's actually not me. Let me explain. I'm also gonna be explaining now what the soul capacity thing is. So here you see the other me, which is actually not me, but let me tell you. The Zekai verse races explained part 4. Atomics and Lytics explains. Atomics are creatures that are kind of like the symbiote race, like the villain called Venom that you see in the Marvel movies. They are kind of the same kind of race in a way. However, they are the literal matter of the universe, like the essence of like dark matter, or like the essence of the universe. They are matter of the universe that destroys, corrupts, damages, and manipulates everything. It is their literal purpose of the atomics to go around and destroy everything, literally everything. That's their whole purpose for existing. They can't stay in the realm of the universe for long without a host, so they possess the bodies of people to survive, basically, and kill, destroy, corrupt everything. If they stay in an incompatible body for too long, the body itself will fall apart and die. So it either crumble, or that would be like cracks that suddenly opens up in your body, you start bleeding, and then it would like fall apart from those cracks, as if someone tried to cut you open, basically. And if they possess a guardian, this is where an atomic as a race is very dangerous. If atomics possess a guardian or have guardian, they can use the guardian's abilities, and if they go in guard mode, they can balance their destructive energy, so that now if they touch someone's body part, it will get destroyed, like either crumbling or cracks or blood spilling out until the body fully falls apart and disappears. I want to say this, they can only do this, the atomic can only use that so to explain, why can they destroy bodies when they go into that mode? Well, that's because guardians have a different balance in their soul capacity, that makes it so that atomics can actually use their ability, which is that atomics have one ability, and that is that whatever they touch, they can literally kill or like decay and crumble and like kill, make things fall apart, basically erase from existence. That's what their ability is, whatever they touch. However, they can't use that ability normally, because then their body would fall apart of whoever they're possessing. However, if they possess a guardian or have guardian, they can use that ability, but only if they use hyperfocus, the hyperfocus state. If they use the hyperfocus state, then they can actually like straight up like touch you, and then whatever body part they're touching will fall apart, and you lose your arm basically and bleed and all that stuff. And again, that's why they're very dangerous. The soul of all beings has a capacity. It is filled differently, Atomics and light ticks are the two different essence that the soul is filled with. Guardials are typically, almost always, 90% aka pure light tick energy. So their soul is filled 90% with light tick energy, and if they master the cordial focus, they become 100% pure light tick energy focus, meaning that they are purely a fully mastered being of Guardials. But I want to say this, if you are a half Guardial, you cannot reach the cordial focus. The max we can reach is the Guardial focus, because we are half, so we can reach that level. But again, if you are 100% pure, or like if you're 90%, you can reach that level. That's only if you're pure Guardial, if you're a Guardial being. If the soul becomes 100% atomic, however, your soul dies, and the soul will then be turned into like the matter like Venom, and then it would like become the creature called Atomic, and then become a conscious being that will try to again find another host and try and kill and destroy and corrupt all. However, they cannot exist for long without a body, so they're probably just gonna attach to whatever living being they see. It doesn't have to be an intelligent one, just something that's alive. So they can even possess like plants and stuff like that too, so just keep that in mind. It doesn't have to be like a full-on intelligent being. So this guy right here, okay, this is not me. This is me, yes, but it's me from another universe that's already got fully possessed by an atomic, which we will call Atom. So I call this guy Atom. This is just me from another universe, basically. But I've already been fully corrupted, and I can't be. This guy version of me cannot be saved. So this is just an atomic now that goes around killing everyone or whatnot, and the soul capacity cannot be changed unless you're Guardial. So unless you're on Guardial, which is the only way where you can train to get your capacity high up in light tick energy, if you are not on Guardial, you cannot change it. But if you are someone who's also not a Guardial, and your energy, your light tick energy is if it's below 50%, that means that you can easily get possessed by an atomic and you have no way of surviving. However, if your light tick energy is over or above 50%, that means that the atomic cannot possess you, even if you're not a Guardian. So it's simply a matter of what your soul capacity is. Atomics has a like usually the way to distinguish if they're possessed and if they are fully atomics, which is the race, is if they have a black scara, which is basically like the eye whites. If that's totally black and they have like extremely like red eyes like this, that means that they have been completely possessed and they cannot be saved. And some of their atomics might even have cracks in their pupils, like full-on cracks where it looks like the eye have been somewhat like cracked open. Some might even have cracks on their skin, but that's like if they have gone really, really far and like the possessed being have somehow become stronger to the point where like they are extremely dangerous, where even them just touching you, even if it's just them touching a body part, if they touch you, they can literally pulverize you just by touch. That's only if they have reached such a high level where their body starts cracking up, not completely falling apart, but some of the parts of them start cracking up. That's because their atomic energy is overflowing so much that it almost kills the body, but just to the minimum where it doesn't, but it just falls a little bit apart. So that's atomics. Now for the next panel. The next panel is this. This is me. Anrex Zekai explains. So I have said this before, but let me just do this again. In 2010, I woke up in another person's body and was told my name was Anrex. which is where I got my name from. This is a true story, by the way. This is not something I'm just making up. This is a true story. Which is where I got the name from. And after that night, I continuously woke up in that world, in other many dreams moving forward. And I hang out with my two girlfriends. Yeah, I was in a poly relationship, which is kind of weird, but I had two girlfriends and we were extremely loyal to each other. There were never really any questions if we were loyal to each other or not. And we just stayed together. We pretty much did everything together, like literally everything throughout the day. And I did research as I was in the world, doing my best to try and learn about the world and the people from the world. So basically trying to find out, where am I? What is this world? This is something I literally actually did in my dream world. This is like, as in like actual dreams I've had when I sleep. This is the world that I wake up in. It's not something I make up. This is actually what happens in like about 50%, 60% of the dreams that I have. I have at least, so I'm trying to say I have at least 1 or 2 dreams every night where I wake up in my dream world as Anrex Zekai and I do something in that world. And from 2010 to 2016, I didn't really have full control over the body of Anrex. It was like I could just move and somehow the body moved like I wanted, but I didn't have to do anything. So my soul did possess him. It just felt so natural the way he moved that I couldn't tell if I moved or if Anrex moved. So that's how it was for most of the time. Then in 2016 to 2020, I was abandoned by the girls, and then I used every single dream. When I fell asleep, I woke up in the dream world. I used every single dream I had moving towards 2020 to go on an endless search to try and find those 2 girls again. I searched through forests, deserts, planets, other realms, even other dimensions, to no avail. I couldn't find them. And then I have 2-dimensional katana swords. I have 2-dimensional katanas or swords, whatever you want to call them, that can do 2 things. One, it can open up portals into other realms and dimensions that I've been in before, either in my dreams or reality, or I can even imagine something and then I can make like a small pocket dimension that I can go into like temporarily. Like I can make a dimension that lasts for a few minutes or hours, but it's temporarily existing. And the second thing is the sword can perform an action called a universal lock. Now, what is a universal lock? A universal lock is an action that is performed using either a tool or using guardian focus to completely lock an atomic out of the universe you're currently in. Yes, you heard correctly. We have tools. If we can't use the guardian focus, then we have a weapon that is usually has the ability to lock out the creatures like the atomics, so they can't go into that same universe again, basically saving that specific universe. Keep in mind, I travel through multiple universes, so I have to do this every single universe, and it doesn't cut out all atomics. It only cuts out the atomic or atomics that I faced currently in the universe. So if I make a universal lock on the specific atomic, and then let's say 10 years later another atomic pops out into that universe, I will then have to go in and try and do the universal lock again. But the only way you can do a universal lock on an atomic is if you have already damaged the atomic's body so much that it starts falling apart. Not necessarily dying, falling apart, but it just slowly starts falling apart. Kind of like how I explained before. That is the only way that if they're in the state that the atomics are in the state of mind where the guardians can use the universal lock to then lock them out completely. Because again, they lose control, the atomics lose control of their body, and it ends up destroying half of their body, which makes them vulnerable, and then we can use the universal lock to lock them out, basically. The game title for me is The God of Speed. I am the god of speed. I mentioned that multiple times. And my abilities are run up to the speed of light. Like I can run to the speed of light, up to the speed of light. I can speed and slow down anything I touch, and I can reverse anything I touch. I also have crazy agility, and when I'm in my super focus, I can make invisible walls and barriers. Now, I do have a true god title, but I'm never going to tell you guys what that is. The only place where I will literally reveal what my true god title is if I end up, a little bit of explanation, I'm trying to get permission from 35 VTubers to make a movie, and in that movie, in part 2 of that movie, I will be actually revealing what my true god title is. But any other place from that, I'm not gonna reveal it. So I will only reveal it if that movie becomes a thing. Part 2, that is. So I have to make part 1 first, but yeah. And then let's go on to the next section. The next section is this. This is just me trying to say again that this, the black hat one, that's not me. That I'm just gonna call him Atom Zekai. Or I also kill him, sometimes I just call him Anrex Atomized. Atomized is just another term I've made for then they are fully possessed. That's what you basically say. So when someone is fully atomized, it means that they are fully possessed. That's what they say in my universe. So this is not me, but the blue haired or cyan hair, light blue haired or cyan colored haired person here, that's me. That's what I normally mostly look like. Now, in most of my streams, I will probably go between between the blue haired, dark colored haired me and this version mostly, because again, it's supposed to be so that in my universe it is hard to train and be able to stay in the focus states to be able to go into my god form. So I'm gonna make it kind of that way too in my streams. So I am still gonna have streams where I use my god mode, where I am in my white hair, but it's not gonna be used as much as in my blue hair and light blue hair and my dark blue hair colored me. I have also thought that I might actually do it so that when I play horror games, I'm gonna use my black colored, my dark blue hair colored me when I play horror games, and then use the blue one in all the other games, just because I think it makes it a little bit better for the eyes when you watch the stream. Because if I were to play a horror game right now, I would be very visible, and maybe too visible or bright, to the sense where it kind of screws up the game in a way, where like the gameplay is gonna be dark because it's a horror game, it's dark, but I might be a little bit too bright. And though I could probably fix it to some extent, I don't think it's gonna be that much I can do about it. I will probably try and fix it at some point to see if I can actually just keep using this light blue hair one of me, because this is my primary, this is what I normally look like. Again, the blue hat one, dark blue hat one, is just me when I'm in my vampire mode. So yeah. But yeah, that's actually all there is for my explanation. This took way longer than I thought it would do. Now, but I've done all my explanation, let me show you guys the rest of the panels or backgrounds we're going to be using when we are not streaming via chat, which will still be a lot through this year what we don't do, but we still sometimes do. So when I'm not playing via chat, I will be using these. I already show you guys my Be Right Back screen that looks like this. This is when I'm Be Right Back on, and then we have my new chatting room. This is the room that I'll be using from now on when I am chatting with you guys. And if it works, that you guys should pop up on the screen over here when you're texting. So yeah, you could test it out if you're interested. But this is what I'm gonna be looking like now from now on. And this is going to be the room that I will be using from now on. So yeah, this is what it looks like. I'm very happy with how it looks. It looks really cool. To give a little bit more explanation, I know that it's a little bit bland in the way I've decorated things, but I thought, you know what, let me just put all the devices that I own in here, or most of them. So I have a VR headset, I have an HD Vive headset over there, I have that too. I have an Xbox One and an Xbox 360. I also have a PlayStation 2 and a PlayStation 4. And then on top over there, you might see that I have 2 PCs. I actually have 3. But the third one, I didn't draw in, there's just gonna be too much. But the one that is the furthest up is actually my very first PC. It looks the shape looks very similar to that up in the top there. So the shape, I tried keeping the shape of the PC case as close as possible to what the PC case actually looks in real life. So the one with the red RAM inside it, the one PC that's furthest up, that's my very first PC I ever bought. And then the one that's below that is actually the PC that I'm using right now, my second PC that I ever bought. Now I have my third PC that I got from my stepdad that I'm planning on rebuilding and like upgrading for the future, which is just an extremely big, like if you imagine those 2 PC cases up there, imagine that the PC that I got from my stepdad is about like as big as if you combine those 2 up there together. That's how big the other PC case, aka my third PC now, I've gotten is. So that's sort of an opportunity for upgrading that in the future. And then this is our chatting room. Now, when we do intermissions, or today, I'm going to do it today, when we play games or react to stuff, or anything other than gaming related too, we'll be using this layout. So this is gonna be the layout for when we do other stuff, when we play games, when we react to stuff. This is gonna be mostly where we use our time when we do that. And I do have like icons down below. That's just like the places that I'm mostly active on. I do have way many more places I am on, but I'm not really as active. Like the 4 places I'm most active on is YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, and Twitter. Instagram is like once a week I like upload 7 TikToks, and the same for like the other one, that's like thread.net, which is Facebook's equivalent to Twitter. Which I am not also really not that active on, but I do upload the same day on thread.net as I do Instagram, so that's tied together. So, and then we have just a normal end game. This is still the same background. I thought it would be nice just to keep using this still. So this is where I will be using a lot of my time also when we just play games, and I don't want to have like a layer or whatnot. When you want to be a little bit more immersed and not have overlays, or when I record stuff, I'm probably going to use this scene a lot. The background is, you're not going to see that mostly, it's just going to be the game instead there. And now, I'm not ending the stream yet, by the way. I'm not ending the stream yet, but I want to show you guys my end stream, or my end screen. My end screen looks like this. This is my end screen. Now, the TV itself will be when where the chat will pop up. So like if people text, it will still be shown in here. This is just me saying again bye for this time, but I'm not ending stream yet. I'm not ending stream yet. So guys, that's everything. Now I've shown you guys everything that we will be using moving forward into the future when we are not playing VR Chat. And I showed you last stream my full-on 4.0 model. But if you really want to know or look, I haven't showed this. There's one last thing I want to do before we get into the game for today. So I want to showcase something here. I have in total, if you might have noticed, 4 models. I have 4 VTuber models. Now the very first model that I ever made, I don't think many of you guys have even seen yet. And that one is my 1.0. Now I've only used my 1.0 model like for 4 streams, literally only 4 streams, and that's it. So let me just find this. I've probably done this a little bit beforehand, but give me a sec and I will find the ones here. So I have a 1.0, 2.0 and 3.0. You have already seen my 3.0 because that's what I use most, but I'm just gonna put them in here so you can see comparison. So we have my 1.0 model. Oh my god, there's a lot of stuff here. PNDs here. So this right here is what my very first VTuber model looked like. And this was just like a random, I didn't really plan on what I would look like. This was like a one-off fast thing I just wanted to do because I just wanted to have a character I could use on stream. But this is my very first VTuber model that, by the way, I still don't know fully yet if this model is like gone or if it still works, because like the files were somewhat corrupted. This is my 1.0 model, the very first one that I ever made, that I ever used also too. Let me just move myself a little bit here if I can get myself to move. So that's my 1.0. Now we have my 2.0. You might have seen if you follow me. I did use that fairly a lot before I actually got to use my 3.0. My 2.0 model is also, I would like to clarify, my 1.0 and my 2.0 are both 2D, live 2D models. But my 3.0 and 4.0 are 3D models. So do keep that in mind. They're different in that sense. Let me go in and get this. So we have my, well, it's basically just like if we have my 2.0 here. This is my 2.0 model, which you might have seen. So this is the last live 2D model that I had, that I used before I went over to being a 3D VTuber. Again, this is also, it's kind of still like just like making it a little bit just like whatever. But I was getting a little bit closer now to what I wanted to look like. So this is my 2.0. Now, I didn't really take a full-on picture of my 3.0, but let me just, I can edit it. I can edit this in later when I'm making this into a video. So let me just skip. So like go in and, or not skip, let me just like, just ignore what you're looking at right now. I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna change the model now. So I'm just gonna take a screenshot like this. I'm gonna show you guys. So this is the one that I used to use, but I'm not gonna use anymore, but this is my 3.0. Let me just take a full-on screenshot here. Oops. That's better. It would take about a few seconds for me to do this. Bear with me. I am almost there. Just need to cut it out so it doesn't fill the whole thing. I want to have an extra comparison because it's actually funny. Like when you look at it, it kind of looks like, how do I say this? Like it almost looks like I'm a Pokemon evolving. I'm not gonna lie, it almost looks like I'm an actual Pokemon who's evolving. It actually looks quite funny when you look at the full comparison between all of them. It's kind of funny how that works. I didn't intend to be like become a Pokemon evolution thing, but it just so happened, you know. It just happened to be a thing. That's kind of funny how that happened. I never thought I'd be able to call myself an evolving Pokemon, but like here we go, I guess. So now let me get my other one. I'm just gonna change my model again here because I already have the picture just now. Go back to this. Okay. So this is my 4.0. And then we have my 3.0, which is right here. So you can kind of see I have kind of evolved in a way. Actually, it's very funny how this looks, bro. Look at it. I've evolved. The very first 1.0, I had white stripes or like white bangs of hair, certain places. Then it got removed, and then it was like, oh, now I'm only like light blue colored. Then I was like, oh, my hair got more crazier, and now I have my white strings or white things back again on my head. So that's kind of funny though. This I'm literally a Pokemon evolved. It's kind of funny. But I'm still gonna say this. I'm the biggest fan of what I look right now, because this right here is 100% what I look like in my dream worlds. The 3.0 is just like somewhat getting close, trying to get close to what I look like, because I still had trouble remembering fully what I look like all the details. But this, what you see right here, is what I fully look like in my dream worlds. Completely. The only difference is, in my dream worlds, I don't have white strings of hair. It's just full on blue. But the reason why I have white strings of hair right now is because I'm planning on making two different like separate universes. I have my manga universe, which is still kind of connected in a way to my VTuber universe. So I'm gonna have, in total, I'm actually gonna have 3 universes. Let me explain. We have my VTuber universe, which is what I look like right now. We have my manga universe, aka the Zekai-verse, not multi-Zekai-verse, but Zekai-verse, where I don't have white strands of hair. It's just full on only my cyan light blue colored hair. Then we have another universe that I still can't say the name of, because I don't want people to steal that name. But it's another universe that is separate, where all of the other VTubers, like the 35 other VTubers, are in too. Where that one universe with all the other VTubers in it are completely separate and not connected in any way, shape, or form to either my VTuber lore or anything else. It is a completely separate universe, not connected to anything. So basically, it's a 3-part movie, and as soon as the movie is made, as soon as the 3-part movie is over, that universe doesn't exist anymore. So that's just to say that it's like a one-off thing. Because there are going to be references from my VTuber universe and manga universe in that movie, but it's not connected to it. It's a separate universe. It's a temporary separate universe. That's all it is. So, and in that universe, I'm still going to have white strands of hair too, but the only way you're going to be able to tell whether or not it's that universe with all the other VTubers, or if it's my VTuber universe, is if you look up in the corner. Like I plan on having, like, if you look at where my head is over here, I'm gonna have like a text or like a title up in the top here at all times when I'm displaying the movie, or when it's the movie, because that way you know that it's separate. So I don't have to make yet another difference in like color scheme or whatnot. For me, it'll be a little bit annoying to have to do that. So those are the things. Everything about me. That's basically everything there is to tell or say in the about my debut. I know it's a lot. It's a lot of information, but this is like the easiest way I can explain to you guys who I am, what I am about, and all this stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Although I feel like I've missed one. I feel like that was one thing that I missed. I feel like that was one thing that I've missed. Is that true? Did I talk about my goals? Did I ever talk about my goals? Because I'm pretty sure I had a page that said about talking about my goals for what I want to do. Don't I? I feel like I would have that, but maybe that I'm just... Maybe I didn't. Oh, I didn't include that. Okay, I guess we're not completely completely done yet. Let me just show you the very last image then of what my goals are, because I still have that. Let me see. Right here. my goals. Where are my goals? Dislikes. Okay, so somehow my goals image is somewhere else. This is a little bit annoying because it was almost completely smooth the way everything went now. But I guess that's how it is sometimes. You can't be too perfect. I guess it's just a normal thing for every VTuber in existence to be scoffed. I guess you can't fix that. That's always gonna be a thing. So where the hell is my goals? I have my dislikes, my likes. Okay, I might have somehow deleted it, but let me just tell you what it is then, because it's not that crazy. What my goals as a VTuber are is I want... Whoa. What my goals as a VTuber is that I want to be featured in a game. I want to make an album. I want to learn how to dance and sing. Do voice impressions. I want to make a game. And I want to make an animation. Those are my goals for now. Now there probably was like one or two other things left that I still don't remember what was, because it was not saved, even though I thought I saved it, which is a little bit sad, but that's how it is, I guess. So but yeah, that's mainly my things. My goal as a VTuber is to, well, also hopefully put a smile on your face, because I wanna have fun. I wanna make people laugh. I wanna people have a good time. That's my priority of all. That's my biggest priority, like having a good time and hopefully making you guys have a good time too. That's my biggest goal as a VTuber, as a content creator in general. That is my #1 goal. So I hope I can keep doing that, and hopefully in the future I can look back on myself and be like, you did it, Anrex. You got better at entertaining and you know what you're doing. You're not completely lost in this world. So yeah. But guys, we will go in now to continue playing the game BioShock. Now this went way further on. I didn't even think I was gonna have so much to talk about. Normally I only talk for like 1 hour max, but again, I felt like I might as well just have made this into a debut thing while I was at it, because and then it's just done. I will say, even though a debut is something you do when you're about to go serious about making content, I just wanted to do it because again, it would just be easy. I would have a way I can easily make into a video explaining everything in a very simplified, fast way, so that people actually know what I am, instead of just being like confused and not knowing anything about what I'm talking about. Because sometimes I talk too much to the point where people don't really know what I'm talking about or don't understand, which is why I thought this would be a good idea to do this. So let's get into the gaming thing. I want to use this. I want to use this for today. Normally we wouldn't do this. I prefer doing the other one, but I want this just for the fun today. So we're gonna play in here today, and I'm gonna try and start the game up, and hopefully it will work. Let me just. I did also test it, so it should work. And if I remember correctly, we was very far into the game. Like we are talking over halfway through the game, I think. So if I'm lucky, or if we are lucky, in fact, I think we might actually only need one more stream after this, even though I'm pretty sure I scheduled up to like 4 streams in total. So I've done 1, we're doing 2 now, so there should be at least only 2 times more. But I feel like we might actually finish this, not today, but next time. I feel like I might be able to do that. So, but who knows? Let's see. Oh yeah, there's like less than 3 hours left. Okay, we might even finish this actually. That's crazy. But yeah, it was very easy. We